I finally unlocked Nebula Camo on 33 out of 33 weapons in Black Ops 6 Zombies. If I look tired or sound tired, it's because I kind of am, man. As usual, you know, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day, so that's nothing new to me, but literally as soon, but basically last night, up until the time I went to sleep, I was grinding out, like, all the Nebula Camos, and then from the time I woke up to now, it's just, it's been all elite kills, all Nebula grinding. We're here, though, if you look at my showcase, finally got the Dark Matter Indeed, got the Dark Journey one, and then I still have the Citadel Demoir one there, because I still have to go out and grind Abyss Camo. You know, I'll get there at some point, dude. It's one of those things where I really want Abyss Camo, but I don't want to do the grind for Abyss Camo. Does that make sense? Like, I'm going to do it because I want that camo so bad. It looks sick, as well as, like, the other camos leading up to it, like Catalyst and King's Ransom. They look awesome, but the grind to get there. Now, you see, back when I unlocked Dark Matter for all the weapons in the game, we went through and I showed, like, what each weapon looks like with Dark Matter, but the thing is, that was only because I had builds already made for each weapon, so I could go through and be like, here's this, and then we just kind of went through the menu and did the thing. But I forgot to do that for Nebula. So, I mean, you can see it there in the menu. Like, obviously, I'm not lying. Like, it's literally right there. I do have to go through and unlock it for the DLC weapons, because I only unlocked it for, like, the base weapons in the game so far. Like, I'm almost done with the Krieg C, so I'll have to get that done. The SOG, I'm almost done with, but I still have to do that. The Maelstrom, I don't even want to touch that weapon. The AMR Mod 4, I still need to get that done, but I already made decent progress with it, and even got, like, Dark Matter for it over in multiplayer. This weapon is insane. And then the Seer 9mm, yeah, I'm, like, really close to getting this one done. I just need the 11 special kills, the 20 consecutive kills without getting hit, and then the 10 elites as usual. And you guys know me, I've been on the level 1000 grind, which means that I've been all about completing these daily challenges, and as you can see, I literally have one to complete. That being to successfully exfil, so we're literally just gonna dive into a match and play for a bit until I'm able to exfil. We'll just go into Jingle Hells. But I guess I could kind of talk about my journey going for Nebula Camo. I already kind of did that in my original Unlocking Nebula video, but we'll just kind of go over, like, the brief bullet points here, I guess, for each class in the game. As I said in my original Unlocking Nebula video, I still stand by what I said with, you should not try to get this grind done as soon as possible. You shouldn't cheese it with directed mode. You shouldn't try to find the most mid-maxy strategy. Really, the best way to go about this grind is to just play the game, have fun. When you unlock it, you unlock it. Really, I'd say that that's the case for a lot of camos in the game, because more times than not, when you try to corner yourself into those really cheesy and quote-unquote fast strategies, it ends up feeling like it's taking a lot longer than if you would have just played the game normally, because that's just kind of how it goes. Because, I mean, the camo grind in itself, it does take a while. It doesn't matter if we're talking multiplayer or zombies, but especially zombies this year, it is going to take you a very long time. So if I were you, I know it can be tempting to go in and get everything done as fast as possible, but I cannot stress enough, you will have a much better time if you just play the game normally and complete it whenever you complete it. There's no rush. You have the entire year to do it. You're gonna have multiple DLC maps to play through yet. The only reason I've already gone through and unlocked Dark Matter and Nebula on all 33 weapons in the game is because I have raging OCD. And for those that don't know, you know, OCD, it isn't like obsessive cleaning disorder or whatever the media tries to make it out to be. It actually stands for obsessive compulsive disorder, which means that you unhealthily obsess on things, such as camo grinds in a video game. Meaning, there was actually some nights where I genuinely couldn't get a good night's sleep because I was thinking about, man, I should be, I should be sleeping right now, but this is time that's being taken away from the camo grind. And I also always kind of have, like, that checklist mentality. I don't know what it is. I have fun going through checklists, even if it means that I'm, like, grinding things to almost an unhealthy extent. And to define unhealthy, I would say, like, when it starts eating into time to where you should be doing other things, like if you should be chillaxing for the evening and, you know, maybe getting ready for bed, instead you're grinding the camo, or when you should be sleeping, you're thinking about how you're gonna do the camo grind, or maybe even just doing it anyway. So for me, it's honestly just fun grinding camos this way, but for a lot of people, yeah, I could see a lot of burnout setting in really fast if you just try to go through and complete all the camos, whether we're talking multiplayer, zombies, or God forbid Warzone. So that's what I would recommend, honestly, just playing the game normally, having fun, but if you're trying to get it done as fast as possible, there's a few different strategies. So I'm not gonna go through and explain the entire strategies, because honestly, I don't even know how the strategies work, because I didn't do them. I played the game legit and just did my thing. Now, again, you know, I'm not dunking on anybody that decides to do those cheesy directed mode strategies, you paid your $70 to $100 or, you know, like $12 to $20 if you pay for Game Pass to play Black Ops 6. I'm just saying, from my perspective, personally, I would rather just play the game legitimately and have fun without cheesing all those cheesy strategies, and that is what I did. Now, even while playing the game legit, there is ways to speed up that process. Like, for example, if you grab the water valve in Liberty Falls, and then you put it in the bowling alley, that'll speed up zombie rounds as well as skipping vermin rounds, so you'll be getting a lot of critical kills a lot faster there. And you can also turn on the rampage inducer on top of that, obviously, to speed up the zombies even more. So that's like one of the best ways to just, you know, get critical kills really fast while still playing the game legit if you'd rather go down that route. And then when it comes to special eliminations, honestly, again, just playing the game normally, I know there's gonna be people that are like, oh man, but if you do directed mode, you know, you get like a mangler every minute. Dog, when you play a match of zombies normally and you get to like round 40, you're gonna be getting like 6 manglers every minute. Like, what are you talking about? And see, I was doing their grind before the Season 1 Reloaded patch, where they ended up kind of tuning down how many special enemies spawn in at the later rounds, because I can tell you at launch, man, even by the time you get round 30, you'd have like 7 manglers spawning in and around. I would play the game for maybe a little total of like, I don't know, maybe a little over an hour to get to like round 40. I'd easily complete multiple weapons when it came to getting my special eliminations done just by playing the game normally, and I can tell you I was having a lot more fun there than I would have if I was just, you know, cheesing some directed mode strategy. So that one's really up to you. You could either do the usual thing where you sit on the roof in directed mode and get your manglers every couple seconds, or you could just play the game legit. Again, I'm not faulting anybody either way, because the camo grind does take a long time either way you do it, so, you know, and again, you spent your money, you play it how you want. And then when it comes to Afterlife camo, that one's really self-explanatory, just don't get hit. And then finally, when it comes to the Nebula challenges, I'm sorry, but that is the one where I have to say that no matter how you do it, that one is going to take a stupidly, ridiculously long time to get done. And I cannot blame anybody for just wanting to hop into directed mode and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it done here, because otherwise, even if, say, you would push a game up to like round 40, I don't even know if that would actually be enough to complete one weapon in a single match. Granted, I don't know the exact numbers on that, but let's not forget that there would also be, you know, like 33 weapons in total if you want to complete all the launch weapons in the game, on top of all the DLC weapons that have been in the game, which include, like, the power drill, there's, like, a cleaver coming up here soon, we got the new sniper, the maelstrom, the siren, the crit, like, that, like, almost 40 weapons in total now. So that could either be a situation where you just kind of tough it out and you're in for the long haul without one, and you just go for high rounds constantly and keep whatever weapon you want to get done in your back pocket and hope for the best, or you could hop into directed mode, and then basically what you want to do is do the Liberty Falls Easter egg up until the step where you need to summon in HVTs with the LTG device, and you want to plop it down over by spawn. You do not want to do it up here just because things kind of get a little finicky up here just because it's so narrow. Do it down by spawn, and you want to make sure that you get a mangler. If you don't get a mangler, it's okay. You can save and quit, and once you load back into the game, it could give you a mangler. It's kind of RNG. Sometimes it'll give you an abomination. Just keep saving and quitting until you get a mangler, and then that's it. You kill them. You do not want to do the step correctly, I must add. Do not do the step correctly. You want to keep killing the mangler every time that it spawns in, every time that the round flips after you kill a mangler. You go back up to the LTG, you hold X square or F on it, it'll spawn in a new mangler, and that is important. You do have to interact with the LTG. I've seen some YouTubers make videos on it and they don't mention it. They kind of make it sound like the manglers are just going to spawn in on their own. They're like, oh yeah, you complete the round, another mangler's going to spawn in. But no, that's not how it works. You kill the mangler, you complete the round, and then once you complete the round, the LTG will be cooled down, but then you need to interact with it. Once you interact with it, spawns in another mangler, and then you just kind of do your thing. You can technically do it against abominations if you wanted to, but again, it would just be a lot faster to do it against manglers, so just save and quit until you get a mangler, do your thing, and obviously, since there's save files in BO6, you can just constantly save the game over and over and over again until you get all of your Nebula camos. I did a mix of them, I'm not gonna lie. I did do some of them in directed mode, but I also did a handful of the weapons legitimately. And as mentioned a billion times at this point, I cannot blame you either way that you want to do it. And then when it comes to weapon-specific challenges, really, I mean, there's not really any that are particularly difficult. When it comes to melee weapons, definitely utilize decoys as well as augments for melee macchiato. I would recommend either, probably just using espresso, honestly. I know vampiric can be pretty good because then you get some of your health back every time that you hit an enemy, but if I'm gonna be honest, I'd probably just recommend using Ether Shroud, as well as many decoy grenades, and then just go into town. Anytime that you have your Ether Shroud, pop it, use Espresso and Melee Macchiato, and then just go swing crazy with the baseball bat or the knife, and then, you know, same thing with the decoys. I'd also recommend pairing that up with the one augment that lets you kill enemies in one hit for more rounds, because that'll obviously add more damage to your melee weapon, so That's pretty useful. Otherwise, the launchers were really easy to get done. Obviously, use PhD if you're going to do those. And when you're trying to get critical kills for the GS45 and the LR7.62, keep in mind those two will probably be a pain, and those are two other weapons where I couldn't blame anybody necessarily for wanting to just go into directed mode and cheese the rooftop strategy for those, because when you pack punch them, they become explosive, and while you technically can get critical kills with those, it's going to be a lot more difficult, especially when you factor in the splash damage, because only the enemy that you hit with the initial, like, bullet, if you want to call it that, is going to count as a critical, whereas the explosive damage will still kill all of the zombies around it. So at that point, you know, those will just be normal kills and not critical kills. Kind of a pain. I kind of wish for those weapons specifically they would have altered the challenges to reflect that and maybe just make them normal eliminations, but alas. So for those weapons, you'll want to make sure that you do not pack-a-punch them, and yeah, you can either do it in directed mode, or you could just, like, start up a game of Liberty Falls, use them until they're no longer usable, quit out of the game, and just keep doing it that way. You can really do that either way. And then, I think it's one of these special challenges for the GS45. I can't remember exactly, but I believe there's one that requires you to get hipfire kills. And I don't know if they fixed this yet, but I remember back at launch when I was doing that challenge, for some reason, having it, I believe it was having it pack-a-punched or having it akimbo, or maybe both of those things, and then trying to get those done didn't count as hipfires. I forget which one it was. It was either having the weapon pack-a-punched or having it akimbo, or maybe both. It was one of those, but for some reason, those didn't count. So definitely make sure that that's been patched before you try to get that done. Otherwise, maybe just play it safe. Buy the GS45 off the wall, get your normal hipfires, and let that be that. Woo! Got more XP! Otherwise, that's really all the tips that I have for getting Nebula Camo. It's a pretty straightforward process. The only thing about it is that it's long. Like, that's really it. I mean, it's gonna take a long time to get it done no matter how you spin it. It's just one of those things where it's like, there's multiple ways to go about it, and honestly, even though it would take longer to just play the game normally and have fun and get it done whenever you get it done, I truly do believe that that is just kind of the best way to do it. So that's my advice. Do with it what you will. And now I have a choice. I can either go all in on the Abyss grind for the next however many days, weeks that would take, or I just keep speed running zombies, Easter eggs, playing the multiplayer, and having a good time. Yeah, I'm not too sure. On one hand, I really want the Abyss camo. On the other, I just really don't feel like doing the grind. I won't lie to you guys. I did... Am I really about to admit this on camera? Okay, so I was doing this one strategy while grinding out some of the Abyss camos, or I guess, you know, some of the Gold Tiger camos to work towards Abyss camo. And the strategy that I was utilizing was going into Plunder, waiting until the plane reached the very end, and then getting kills on AFK players. And look, I'm not proud to admit that, but I was getting like anywhere from like 10 to 20 plus kills per match that way. But even still, man, it's gonna take forever. And then you have some of the other challenges where it's like get kills at extreme range with the one sniper and kills under enemy UAVs, which is very oddly specific. I don't know. And I don't like to talk about cheaters too often, but I literally just saw a clip the other day. And I'm not making this up, of somebody getting beamed out of the sky by the Beam Smasher from Terminus in Black Ops 6 Zombies, but in Warzone. They were dropping into the match, and this cheater, he was sitting there with the Beam Smasher, just beaming everybody out of the sky. Bro, that weapon's not even in Warzone. Brother, it is literally a weapon in Zombies right here. The Beam Smasher. Yet he had it in Warzone. Yeah, I got no idea, man. I'm kind of hoping they bring back that big TDM mode. Remember that one? Wasn't that back in Verdansk where they had like the massive TDM mode where you could drop in at like Superstore or something like that? That was Verdansk, wasn't it? You drop in, it was unlimited respawns, you get like dozens of kills every match. That would be perfect for this. Like, why haven't they done something like that? I don't know, I'll stop rambling for now. But anyway, there it is. Yeah, Dark Matter, Nebula Camo completed for all the weapons in Black Ops 6. Well, the launch weapons at least. Still gotta go through and do the DLC weapons, and then... I don't know, I'll have to decide what I'm doing about Abyss Camo then. But anyways, always massive shout out, thank you to all the Patrons, and remember, thinking only in the low baller tier, and a big shout out, thank you to the big baller tier, Mel asking, and Big Dan and Manny, and the big shout out, thank you to all the G tier, run events on the G-Scroll. Thank you guys so much, guys, you're literal legends. I love you. Have an amazing day, stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.